welcome today to today's broadcast. This is Empowered Life, and we are excited. We are absolutely excited about our broadcast, our program this evening. Welcome. We know that it's your lunch hour, and just as promised, we're not going to keep you guys long. I do appreciate that you have turned aside with your lunch, with your break, and you want to learn leadership principles and leadership lessons. I won't waste your time. I have a powerful program and message for you today. Get ready to take notes, get your pen, your paper, do whatever you need to do. Sit in a quiet place if possible and get ready for some leadership lessons as we are living intentionally forward every day. Again, I welcome each one of you guys to today's broadcast. Thank you so much for sharing your lunch with us. Let's get into it right now. We're talking about up, up. And as you can see in parentheses, we have understanding pivoting. Wow. Right, right out of the gate. Listen, guys, if you ever had to pivot, if you ever had to turn, or if you ever had to make changes, this teaching is for you. I'm telling you, we live in a life, you heard it said before, nothing stays the same but change. Change is the only thing that remains the same. As long as we are living in this life, we will change. We will change voluntarily, or we will have a forced change, but we will change. And so we want to talk about understanding pivoting. And this is what we're going to talk about, going to the next level. How do you go to the next level? Is there another level? How do you go to the next level? Is there another level? Yes. There is another level. Remember, we just came out of 3 programs where we talked about maximizing your potential. And now we want to look at pivoting. We want to look at pivoting, understanding pivoting. So let's look at the word. You know how we do. I love to give you guys a baseline to work with or from. And so we're working from this baseline of understanding pivoting. What is pivot? What is pivot? Look at the definition that we have here. Turn on, or as in a pivot, completely change the way in which one does something. Completely change the way in which one does something. A pivot is a pin or a central point on which something balances or turns. Picture this. It's like a central point, a pinpoint. And from that pinpoint, it can balance or it turns to pivot, to pivot, to pivot. Life is full of pivots. It's how you deal with the pivots of life that will determine going to the next level. And so since we understand that pivot means to turn, let's look at the word turn. Let's look at the word turn. To cause to move around on the axle or about a center, rotate, to cause to move around or partially around. As for the purpose of opening, closing, this is so powerful. Don't miss this. Opening, closing, or tightening. I'm going to back up again. The last clause. For the purpose of opening, closing, or tightening. An act of changing or reversing positions or posture, as by a rotary movement. So you're starting with one point and you realize something is not working. There needs to be a change. So what do? We pivot, we change, we turn, We decide that the direction we're going, the position we're taking, the place we're at is not working or no longer is working. So what do? We pivot. Watch this. You don't have to throw it all out. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, or however that saying goes. You don't have to scrub everything. You don't have to quit. What you need to do, and what's is necessary, is a pivot. Watch this. Maybe what you're dealing with, the changes you're looking for, the desires that you have, instead of scrapping it, starting over, trashing it, throwing it out, maybe all you have to do is pivot. Just pivot. And so I love acronyms. And so let me give you an acronym for turn, since we understand that pivoting is really turning. We're turning, we're changing. And so we're understanding what turning is. Let's look at the T. Transformation, U, until, aura, rotate, N, navigates. I'm going to say it again. This is how you turn. This is why you turn. This is how you turn. And we're going to explain it even more. But watch what turn is. T-U-R-N. Transformation, until, rotate, navigates. What am I saying? Watch this. Listen very carefully. We don't just turn to turn. We don't just turn because we're frustrated, aggravated. We turn with purpose in mind. We have a purposeful turn. And so if I'm turning with a purpose, just like it told us in the definition, to pivot and to turn as on a pinpoint axle, we're moving. And since there is movement now, we want to make sure that when we turn, the degree of the turn will help the navigating or point us in another direction or a better direction. I know this should, now y'all gonna have to talk to me today. Y'all gonna have to talk to me today. Okay, good. That's good. All right, great. We turn with purpose in mind. Great. That's wonderful. I love the fact that you guys are talking to me. So turn, the T-U-R-N, transformation. That's what we're after. We need to transform our thinking. We need to transform how we see it, how we think about it. Until, so we purposely turn, so we're not going to stop. Watch this. I'm using everything. We're not going to stop the movement, the change, or the pivoting until what? The rotation stops to navigate new direction. Wow. And so let me give it to you. How to turn. Since I showed you what turning is, what the purpose of turning. So how do you turn? Let's get into it. A, prepare for the turn. Decide how you will turn. Prepare for it. Proper preparation prevents future frustrations. You heard it before. Proper preparation prevents future frustration. I must prepare. I calculate. I get all of the necessary information needed. I do all of the research that I have to do. And I prepare for the turn. I just don't turn. I don't get emotional about this turn, about this pivot. If I'm going to pivot, I'm not just going to do it out of emotions. I'm not going to do it from fickle feelings. I'm not going to do it because I'm being forced to do it. I'm preparing for it. So I have thoughts is going into this turn. And so we decide that we need to turn. Decide how you will turn. When you make preparation, decide then how you're going to turn. Because watch this. Look at it. Listen, I'm going to give you two examples. One, a motorcycle. Two, basketball. Because when you say pivot, most people relate pivoting to basketball. And then some people relate turning to like riding a motorcycle or riding a skateboard or a bicycle or something. You in a turn. So picture yourself on a motorcycle, picture yourself riding a bike, picture yourself driving a car, and you need to turn. And I know I'm laughing because I can think about when I was young, and I, I want to use this example. When I was young, I was riding. I spent a lot of time riding with one of my uncles, and so I'm gonna say it like that so nobody will know what I'm talking about. One of my uncles. Whenever it was time for him to turn or to change lanes, he hurry up and turn. I mean, nobody in the car was ready for that lane change. So he just made a quick change, a sudden change. Everything in the vehicle shook, became unstable. You don't want that kind of change. Like some people change lanes when they drive. You don't want that kind of change. Prepare for the change. Because if you prepare and you decide how you're going to turn, then that turning will be better. Better for everybody in the car, better for everybody on the motorcycle, better for everybody. It will be better. A, prepare for the turn. B, purpose for turning. Decide you're not just going to all willy-nilly turn, but there is a purpose for you turning because you sized up the business. And we're going to give you leadership principles when it comes to pivoting in leadership and pivoting with business decisions, pivoting with family decisions, pivoting for your health. And I'll show you that down the road. But watch this. What's the purpose for turning? Obviously, if you're going to pivot, if you're going to turn, if you're going to make changes, what is the purpose? You prepare properly when you understand the purpose for it. Always remember why. Let your why be determined and defined. Define your why. Don't just wake up one morning because you're frustrated and seemingly things are not working, or you feel like things are not working and you just decide, I'm just going to quickly pivot or change my mind. No. You're properly prepared for it. And you understand the purpose for it. It was deliberated. It was discussed. And you made the decision, we're going to purposely turn. Always remember why. Always define your why. Why am I turning? If you're going to talk to your family about changes that needs to be made, then sit down and prepare for the conversation. Prepare for the purpose of the turn. Let every person involved in that family unit be prepared for it and understand the purpose, because it's better, it's easier. Watch this. Let me use the motorcycle again. Picture yourself on a motorcycle. You're riding, you're driving, you are steering this motorcycle, and you have a passenger behind you. Picture the passenger as your family, your business, or everything for that matter. You have to lean with a motorcycle in the turn, prepare to lean, and you get everybody on that bike, one person on the back of the bike, and you tap them on the leg, or you just explain to them the purpose. We're going from A to C. From A to C. And there will be turns to get there, because it is not a straight line from A to C. We wish it was a straight line, but there are turns on this journey. And if you understand and prepare for the turns, then the leaning will be better, more cohesive. Purpose for the turning. We're trying to go somewhere. We're trying to take this business, this family, finances, our health. We're trying to get to a better place. And so we're not just going to make changes. Everybody in this house, we're going on a diet. No. We prepare for it. And we understand what the purpose for it is. Here's the next one. And again, I'm not going to keep you long. I do appreciate you spending this lunch hour with me. C, protection while turning. Put up some safeguards. Put up some safeguards. You prepared for the turn. You decided you're going to do the turn. There's a purpose for the turn. Now put up some safeguards. If you're riding a bike, again, if you're riding a motorcycle or bicycle, here's what you do. You make sure you have the protection gear on. You safeguard knee pads, helmets, gloves, shoes, proper shoes. If it's relating to businesses or family or mental state, whatever the condition is, you get the proper protection, health insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance, business insurance. You get properly protected. Make sure you have your protections in place. And I love it. Y'all are typing and repeating. Purpose for the turning, protection while turning. So all of your parameters, you're making sure that you're protected so that when you pivot, no one is surprised. No one is surprised. Is this helping? Y'all talk to me. Y'all talk to me. And even if you are watching this on demand, if you log on to this YouTube station or Facebook or on all of our channels, LinkedIn, let me know if this is helping you. Let me know if this is helping you. The next one, the placement in the turn. Let me use a motorcycle again, since I've been using the motorcycle. If you need to make a right turn, and you guys are talking. All right, y'all are repeating it. Great. If you are preparing for a right turn, remember to prepare for it, the purpose for it, now the placement in the turn. So if I'm making a right turn, if I'm going to pivot, turn, make a right turn, I don't want to be all the way in the left side of the lane. I want to make sure that I place myself properly for the turn. Position yourself. That's what you want to do right here. You want to position yourself for this turn, financially, mentally, economically. We don't just turn. So preparation goes into turning. Watch this. A cruise ship takes a lot longer than a boat to turn. You can almost, depending on the size of the boat, quickly turn. But you cannot turn a cruise ship as quickly as a boat. So it depends on the size of the object that needs to pivot or turn will determine the placement, the purpose, the preparation that goes into it. So that every person or thing that's aboard or on board the business, the family, the health, the mentality, on and on and on, et cetera, has time to pivot. So placement in the turn. Again, on a motorcycle, you want to make sure that your lane placement is strategic. That you're going to make sure that when you turn, you're going to turn in the right place. Let me see what you guys are saying. It's helping with the things we do every day in our lives. Great. That's wonderful. That's my purpose. I love it. that is helping with everyday. And that's the purpose. Living intentionally forward every day at Empowered Life. If we can give you leadership principles and lessons that can help you navigate your life, we have been successful. I love it. And so that's now let me go to E. E. Pace the turn. Again, I go back to my uncle. I was young, real young, in the back seat. And all of a sudden, he just jerked into the turn. He just pivoted. Boom. He just hit the lane. He attacked the lane. Everything in the car, including me, rolled or moved. And so you want to make sure you pace the turn. You don't have to immediately change lanes. Immediately turn. Make sure a turn is only as good as the person that's doing it. Remember, timing is important. So let's use a car, even in a motorcycle, but even a car. You're checking your rear view mirror. You're checking the people beside you, in front of you, behind you, and you're pacing it. You're not going too fast because you can lose it when you pivot or in the turn. And I'm going to go to the basketball example in a moment too, because those are two great examples. Riding a motorcycle or bicycle or some kind of bike or basketball when you talk about pivot. Pace the turn. Remember, timing is important. F, painful turns. And I can go to the example of my uncle. Those turns was painful because it shook me in the back seat. Sometimes you hit your head against the window, the glass, the door. You don't want painful turns. You don't want to pivot or turn or change that causes every person or thing aboard that to experience pain. Remember the mistakes. Draw back on when we made quick, hasty, quick, unnecessary pivots or turns. Remember painful turns. Draw back on it because we learn from experiences, even bad ones. And then the final one on this one is panorama turns. Check all viewpoints. A motorcycle, a vehicle, you're checking the mirrors, the windshield, everything. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that type of turn does hurt. Somebody got whiplash now because of that type of turn. And so watch this one, guys. Panorama view. So when you pivot, when you turn, you're checking everything because you don't want to cause an accident because you decide to pivot and nobody else in the vehicle was ready for it. When you make that, you're prepared. Your placement is straight. Your placement. Let me give them all to you real quickly again. Prepare for the turn. Decide how you would turn. The purpose for turning. Always remember your why. Protection while you're turning. Put up some safeguards. Placement in the turn. Position yourself. Pace your turn. Remember things. Timing, I should say, is important. Painful turns. Remember the mistakes. And then finally, panoramic turns. Check all viewpoints. Check all viewpoints. All right, let me see. I know that this is helping. So let me give you just a little more, and then we're going to bring it to a close because I don't want to keep you too long. I do respect the fact that you are spending your lunch hour with me, and so we're making it short and sweet, powerful yet short and sweet. So dealing with changes. Remember, and I said this on last week or two, dealing with changes. Remember, change is personal, possible, and profitable. Change is personal, profitable, and possible. Wow. I'm glad that this is helping. I'm glad that this is helping. Remember that. Always remember, you're going to hear me say that redundantly. Change is personal, possible, and profitable. If every person that's a part of the company, every person that's a part of the family, every person that is a part of the organization, if they can be all on one accord and remember that it's personal, every individual has decided to do this, to pivot, that it's possible despite the impossibilities that lies ahead, and it is profitable when we're congruent in our mentality toward pivoting. The law of trade-off. You have to give up to go up. Remember this. I'm just going to drop a few on you and I'm going to stop it right here, guys. Remember the law of trade-off. You have to give up to go up. I remember there was a song, I forget the group, and I hate when I don't remember the group, but they sung this song on board a hot air balloon up and away in the beautiful sky, something like that. Some of you guys may remember that song. But before they go up in a hot balloon, the way that a hot air balloon works is the balloon is ready, the air is in the balloon, but there are these sandbags or weights that hold the balloon down. But the balloon desires to go up, get to another level. And remember, that's the subtopic that we talked about, up, understanding pivots, going to the next level. The balloon knows that if I'm going to take the individual inside of this basket, I have to take the weights off so I can go up. So here's the law of trade-off. You have to give up to go up. I'm going to say that again. You have to give up to go up. Yeah. You have to give up to go up. See, it's sacrifice. It's called sacrifice. Sacrifice. Sometimes what you have to give up. Watch this. I hope this is powerful as I'm hearing this. I hope this is powerful to you. When you decide to pivot, sometimes pivoting, you're not pivoting from just bad stuff. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. I'm going to repeat this. When you pivot, it is not just for or from bad things. It is possibly for better things, especially when in businesses. When business pivot, they want a bigger profit margin. They see a market untapped potential. So sometimes businesses will pivot because the benefit in pivoting is greater than the benefit of staying still. So it's not always because that you're losing that you pivot. Sometimes you pivot for greater rewards. And always remember, sometimes the things that you have to give up is not bad, but it's holding you down from greater. You want to go higher. In order to go higher, you have to give up something. Wow. That's right. Here it is. Write your own personal list of trade-off principles. And I shouldn't even tease you with that because I don't want to give them to you too much. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to stop right there. I hate to do it, but I don't want to keep you guys too long because this is really just to wet your whistles for leadership lessons and principles that I know that can help you. Again, ticking at the bottom of the screen, if you go to my website, we have all of the stuff that we offer, all of the programs and all of the different things that we have that we know that we can help you. We can do group coaching, personal coaching, all sorts of training and understanding how you're wired. Um, we can speak to your groups, your school. We can speak, coach, or train you. And we know it can absolutely help you get to the next level because you want to go to the next level. You want to go up. Let us help you go up. Somebody say in closing, I'm going up. I'm going up. Join me next week. I'm going to give you more leadership lessons and principles that guarantees to help you, your business, your organization get to another level. I'm Kenneth Antoine, and it has been my chief joy to join with you today for our leadership lesson for today. Remember, log on to our website and I can be reached and I can help you get to the next level. I'll see you guys on next Wednesday. I'll just look, keep your eyes out. It's not always going to be 12 noon. Sometimes we're going to change the time just to capture more. But I do appreciate you spending your lunch with me. I hope that we've given you something to chew on. And always remember, you have been empowered to live your best life. I'll see you guys on next week. Thank you so much.